welcome to another episode of the Sideliners on Wire TV. Tonight we'll be discussing Week 4 of the NFL, which included a shocking shutout and the triumphant return of the best running back in the league, and also one of my favorite times of year, playoff baseball. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, guys, a lot of really crazy games going on this year. I mean this week. Sorry, one game I mentioned in the intro. New England Patriots get shut out in New England for the first time since 1993 by the Bills, nonetheless. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I mean, it just goes to show the job that the Ryan twins have done in Buffalo. I mean, after going 0-2 the first 2 weeks, you know, they knew a change had to come. They fired the offensive coordinator. Rex must have grabbed Buddy and said, listen, we gotta do some things. And I mean, also it comes to luck also. I mean, Jacoby Brissett playing New England down to the third string quarterback playing with a broken thumb. Yep. I mean, good for the Bills. But I'm not worried about the Patriots. The Patriots will be there in the end, ultimately.
Oh, no, I'm not worried at all.
I mean, honestly, man, it just goes to show you, football is a hell of a game. Don't sleep on teams like Buffalo. You know, we always sleep on teams like Buffalo. Like I said, you know, when you got a quarterback who can run the ball, I mean, it helps you out. He has a great arm. Sammy Watkins. I mean, I don't see why you won't be able to shut him out. So,
one thing I'll say. You know Bill Belichick's going to take this game, make it so much bigger than it was. Yeah. The Patriots are going to finish like 14-2, 15-1. Yeah. And this is going to be the driving force for them the rest of the year. He's going to be like, how did we let this happen to this team in our home? Like, you know that's what's going to happen. Definitely. I hate to say it, but Belichick's going to work this like magic. Yeah. And it's going to end up being wonderful for them.
Unfortunately, I do not want to see them in the Super Bowl again. But if it does happen, this would be the reason, like you said. Yeah. This would be the driving force.
The tide that's happening.
Especially with Brady coming back.
Yeah, definitely. So, another team I'd like to talk about, the Jags, get their first win and they're home away from home. And a surprisingly high-scoring game. I feel like the London games are always kind of low-scoring. Seems like a little jet-lagged. Yeah. But the second half of this game was crazy. I mean, back and forth, Luck trying not to go down again. Jaguars trying to get that win.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ended up being a lot better game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm surprised, honestly, that the Jags, it took until week 4 for the Jags to get their win. I kind of thought the Jags had a legit chance at a wild card spot this year, you know, after struggling for so long and, you know, building up with good draft picks, young talent. That defense has always been, you know, decent. Blake Bortles kind of rising up. The signing of Julius Thomas a couple years ago really hasn't panned out, but that team is still, you know, in the upward direction. And those Colts, man, wow. Ever since losing that AFC playoff game to the Patriots, they've just been so disappointing. It's insane.
They look like a completely different team.
Yeah, they don't look like the same. I feel like Andrew Luck hasn't been the same since maybe his second, maybe or third year. I don't know. But Andrew Luck, he disappointed me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But I'm glad the Jaguars got a win. Do I think they're going to get any more? I mean, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, how often do they win? But let's see. It's a crazy NFL season, like you said. So let's see.
A team that I think actually might have stolen the Jaguars' thunder a little bit, the Oakland Raiders. I mean, they look good so far. I mean, they just beat the undefeated Ravens. I mean, you take that 3-0 record that the Ravens had as what it was. Their opponents weren't that great, but still, 3-0 is 3-0. And
exactly. And Baltimore's a tough place to win.
And they were in Baltimore. The Raiders have 3 road wins on the other side of the country. So you got to love what they're going to be able to do at home. I mean, Khalil Mack hasn't been able to do his thing yet. Just wait till he breaks out. I mean, Mac Daddy, that guy's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
I think this team has a chance to maybe make a playoff run.
I believe so, too. I think the one thing they need to get started is that running game. You already know with Derek Carr, you have Amari Cooper, you have
Crabtree.
Michael Crabtree, yes, who just had, 3 touchdowns this week?
3.
Insane. If they could establish that running game with Latavius Murray, I know I heard that they were, you know, thinking kind of like splitting time with him, but if they can get that run game going, you know that defense is solid.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be interesting. About time for Oakland.
Definitely.
They've been waiting a long time for this.
The run game plays a major factor. So Derek Carr definitely has to have confidence in his running backs. And I feel like he doesn't have too much confidence in it. But like you said, it has to improve. Eventually, you know, you can't always throw the ball. And you're going to have to give it to the running back sometimes and let them do the work, let them grind it out. So that's what running backs are for.
Right, definitely. And I like what you said about Crabtree, too, because you want to talk about a revitalization of a career. I mean, this guy was supposed to be a beast coming out of Texas Tech. He had 1 or 2 good seasons with the 49ers, but I think you could say that his career there was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then he just looks like that guy from Texas Tech again. I mean, 3 touchdowns, like you said, and this wasn't just a 1-week fluke. He had a great year last year. He's played great this season. Him and Derek Carr have one really nice connection going on there, and it's definitely a lot of fun to watch. So another team that the offense is really clicking is Matt Ryan and the Falcons. I mean, they've almost scored 100 points these last 2 weeks.
Julio.
And obviously the Saints' defense
It
is pretty horrendous. But the Panthers had a really good defense last year. They've been slacked off a little bit this year. I don't know if it's the loss of Norman maybe, but that's still a good defense. And the Falcons just really got the better of them this past weekend.
Insane. And Julio Jones doing what Julio Jones is capable.
300 yards.
300.
Insane.
300 yards. He had more receiving yards than a lot of quarterbacks had passing yards.
Which is insane.
In a week.
Man's a stud. And also Devonta Freeman finally getting his mojo going together. They were thinking about setting him down and bringing someone up in for him. And he proved that no, he's the man for the job. He's going to stick to it. And he's been balling these last couple of weeks.
Oh, definitely.
Matt Ryan's definitely being a leader. He's showing he can lead the team. He's showing that he, obviously being quarterback, you have to have some type of gut, some type of heart. So he's showing, he's showing a little confidence in his arm.
Yep.
I like it. Julio Jones, 300 yards, unstoppable. I mean, I've never seen it.
And also the head coaching job there, Dan Quinn coming over from Seattle.
Oh, definitely.
That defense has been under control, but that offense, with all the potential and firepower that they had finally clicking, Dan Quinn's doing a great job in
I
Atlanta.
definitely agree with that. I mean, they got up to the great start last year. Obviously, monumental collapse towards the middle of the season and end of last year, but they're looking like a good team again. So maybe they'll be able to keep it together the entire year. So we go from great offensive performances to not so great. New York Jets. Obviously, all fans up here, but Fitzmagic goes to Fitztragic. Was it 9 picks in 2 weeks?
9.
Yes, it is.
I mean, even the best play that the Jets had the other day started off a Fitzpatrick fumble that Sherman picked up after Cliff Averill fumbled it and then ran into the house. So at least one of his turnovers ended up in the points for us, but it hasn't looked pretty these last 2 weeks.
And that pretty much sums up the Jets season so far. Mistakes leading to a good thing, and we're all happy about it. Like it's a new revolution. It's insane. They need to get going. I mean, I understand it's a tough schedule, but at least have respectable losses. Even that win against the Bills, it was an ugly win. So many mistakes. I mean, and that secondary has to be amongst the worst in the NFL so far. Revis, and now Revis has that mild hamstring. We'll see what happens, but I need the Jets to keep it together.
The question I need to ask both of you guys, because we're all Jets fans here, do you think it's time for maybe Ryan to have a seat and put Geno in? I think it's about that time. I think he's 9 turnovers in 2 weeks. You mean to tell me you're gonna throw 9 picks, 6 in 1 game? I don't know. I think it's time for maybe Geno to go in and try to save the day. I'm not gonna give him I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but. What do you guys think?
We'll see what happens. Let's let Decker get back and get healthy. I mean, we'll see. I think we got to ride with Fitz. I've seen too much of Geno to be ready to throw him back in there.
As bad as Fitz has been, it's not like Geno has impressed with his time. He had his chance, and one of the best things to happen to the Jets in the past few years was him breaking his jaw because it led to that magical run that Fitz had last year.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I think the Jets were skeptical to give him money. A lot of fans were skeptical. They didn't want to pay him the money because we knew that was Fitz's best year.
Yep.
That probably was going to be his best year. We didn't think he'd be this bad. I wasn't expecting 9 picks in 2 games,
picks in 2
but
weeks.
I didn't think he would be great this year. I was just hoping that our offense could get it together. I mean, Matt Forte has been good.
Yep.
He's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be. He's
Really
actually
has
running
been.
a lot, which for a guy on the other side of 30, for running backs, that's normally the drop-off point. He doesn't look like he's 30. He doesn't look like he's in his 30s.
Not at all.
At all.
So I was hoping that they'd be able to keep it together, but I mean, Fitz is definitely the downfall right now, but I don't know if Geno brings that upside. I really don't.
Do you think maybe it can be the coaching staff that can have an effect on this team? I mean, you see, from what I see, I see him just throwing it up, and he's expected from Brandon Marshall to get it. And you have, other wideouts. You have other receivers. You have a running back, like you said, Forte, who can run the ball. And you're just continuously lobbing it up to Brandon Marshall, who you expect, even though he's a great wide receiver, you can't expect for him to grab every single ball that you throw his way.
I really don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, the schedule is brutal. it's not getting any easier, too.
Undoubtedly, yeah.
We have the
Pittsburgh
Steelers
after what they just
coming
did.
up, and then we have, who do we have after the Steelers?
Is it Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore. It doesn't get easier. So I guess we'll see. But we go from one struggling New York team to another one. I don't know what Giants fans expected this week. I didn't see them beating the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings, they look like world beaters right now.
Yeah,
I mean, the last 3 weeks, they've shut down Aaron Rodgers. They shut down Cam Newton. And Eli's good, but he's not Aaron Rodgers, and he's not Cam Newton.
No, but they did exactly what you thought they would do. That defense in Minnesota has been lights out.
They're legit.
Insane. And who would have thought Sam Bradford coming in, AP going down. Vikings are 4-0.
Yep.
And 4-0 with 3 quality wins. 3 wins that are, these 3 teams are regulars in the NFC playoffs year in and year out. Unbelievable job.
Definitely stepped up to the plate. Minnesota's definitely proven that they can be a team that can possibly go to the Super Bowl and take it all the way. Obviously, their offense is a little shaky still. Sam Bradford definitely is proving a point, being traded and fresh to the offense and showing that he can, run a team. But, from watching the game, is it the question you want to ask yourself? Is Minnesota how long is this going to keep up? How long can they hold this together? You know what I'm saying? Because, you had a team like Carolina last year who was going undefeated throughout the entire season. They run into a team like Atlanta and boom, boom, pow. So, yeah, let's see.
The one thing I'll say is I think this defense might be able to hold up. I think that's the glue that holds this team together, and they haven't given me any reason to doubt them, so I'm going to keep believing in them.
Alrighty.
So one last team I wanted to talk about, Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they get smacked by the Eagles last week.
Yep.
And a lot of people started doubting them. Le'Veon Bell comes back. We'll talk about him more in a second, but Big Ben throws 5 touchdowns, and they put the beat down on the Chiefs, who looked pretty good coming into this game. What did you guys see?
I mean, the Chiefs coming off a week where Ryan Fitzpatrick handed them 6 interceptions, and then go and Big Ben throws for 5 touchdowns, 300 yards.
Talk about 180 right there.
It was child's play. I mean, and then Le'Veon Bell coming back, doing what he does. The Steelers look good. I mean, and the defense held up, which was really encouraging after that 34 performance that the Eagles put up on them. So Mike Tomlin and his boys looking good, as we all expected.
Mike Tomlin definitely looking good. I mean, I guess you can say they're looking good for now. Big Ben, he's back. He's definitely proven that he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback that we all know that he can be. Winning, the Super Bowl and, doing what he has to do. I like it. He's proven it. Le'Veon Bell, welcome back. I'm proud of him. Yeah. I'm glad to see he's back in tip-top shape as you see how they play next week.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we talked a little bit about Le'Veon Bell. I mean, comes back 178 yards from scrimmage, breaks off that long run, 44 yards. Yeah. Didn't find the end zone, but did just about everything else. So that was very impressive. Yeah. What did you guys see in that?
And also what he did to open up the spacing for passing. I mean, not only giving this man the ball, but what he does, defenses know, okay, they have the best running back in the game right now. What are we going to do to stop it? And when they do try to stop it, Big Ben just floats it up and throws 5 TDs. So not just his impact with the ball, but his impact without the ball proves the Steelers very well this week.
Yeah.
For sure. Le'Veon Bell, he showed me a little flashes of what he used to be at Michigan State. Very young, very agile, very athletic. So I seen a little bit of Michigan State in that black and yellow uniform. So for sure.
So we go from the return of Le'Veon Bell to the return of Tom Brady next week.
Uh-oh.
I mean, there's one franchise I feel incredibly bad for. That's the Cleveland Browns going up against an angry Tom Brady and an angry New England Patriots team that just got shut down at home. They're going to come out. I'm expecting 40 points. And I think that's light work.
They're going to come out swinging. It's going to be ugly. I'm going to call my dad back home and make sure my sister isn't around the TV when this game is on, because this game is going to be brutal. We'll see what happens. We'll see who's left to walk out of the stadium in a Cleveland Brown uniform this Sunday.
I mean, welcome back, Tom. That's what I can say. It's long 4 games. I mean, a lot of commotion going on with the quarterback situation, but you got the main guy. You got the centerpiece. You got the guy that's been leading this team for years now. Super Bowl after Super Bowl, winning season after winning season. So, I mean, I'm glad to see that he's back. Let's see what the Deflategate did to him. Let's see if he's mentally strong and mentally prepared. Let's see. You say 40, I say 60. I'm throwing 60 out there. Let's see how it goes.
All right, great stuff there, guys. That's a wrap on the NFL, and we'll be back after a short commercial break to talk some baseball.
average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people, and you're better than that.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
The It's On Us pledge is a personal commitment to help keep men and women safe from sexual assault.
It is a promise
to not be a bystander to the problem,
but to be a part of the solution.
As a SUNY Oneonta student athlete, I am proud to take the pledge. I pledge
to help keep men and women safe from sexual assault.
I promise
not to be a bystander to the problem, but a part of the solution.
I pledge to recognize
that non-consensual sex is sexual assault.
To identify situations
in which sexual assault may occur.
To intervene
in situations where consent cannot or has not been given.
To create an environment
in which sexual assault is unacceptable and survivors are supported.
Join us and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I pledge to help stop sexual assault.
And welcome back to the Sideliners on Wire TV. With the start of October comes the start of playoff baseball, so we'll be making our wild card predictions and breaking down the divisional round matchups. So right now we have the Toronto Blue Jays facing off against the Baltimore Orioles. We have 1-0 lead for the Blue Jays right now. Joey Bats is a home run, of course.
Yep.
So what do you guys think in this series? I mean, this game.
I think I don't count out the Orioles. You know, they hit. That's what they do. Joey Bats, yeah, he can hit home runs. But Mark Trumbo, 47 dingers this year. And I don't trust that the Blue Jays bullpen either. I still think the Orioles have a little run in them. I think the Orioles can still pull this game off. It's only 1-0.
I agree, and it's still early in the game. Tillman's, he's only let up one hit. You know, of course it was a home run, but Stroman's also having a game himself. It's going to be a pitcher's duel to the end, but you still got Machado, Jones. You still got Trumbo too to face. You know, you can give up that lead real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And if the Orioles do manage to tie it up or even take the lead, once they get to that bullpen, I mean, Zach Britton, when you have a closer who's a Cy Young candidate, you know he's having a great year.
Oh, yeah.
So if they can manage to get it to him, I don't see him choking and letting that lead up.
No, not at all.
So we go from one wild card game to another. We have the Giants against the Mets. Thank you. Sorry about that. Blank for a second there. So great pitching matchup. We have Mad Bum going up against Thor. Great nicknames all around.
Yeah.
So this one's in Citi Field. You guys want to give the advantage to the Mets? What are we thinking here?
I can't. I honestly can't. Madison Bumgarner is all the advantage that I think a team in October needs. If you look back 2 years ago and what that man did, carrying the San Francisco on his back to a World Series title, it's insane. You can't ask for anything more than giving Bumgarner the ball in a must-win game like this. I think I see the Giants moving on.
Yeah, no, I don't see the Mets moving on. You know, all they got is Syndergaard. They don't have any other starting pitching. Who's going to close out the games? You know, the Giants are 4-0 against the Mets in Citi Field. Bumgarner is 4-0 against the Mets in Citi Field. He has a .62 ERA against them. Oof. Who's going to hit him? I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going to hit him. And, you know, just from past championships that they have had, that Bumgarner's been in, you see what he can do. You know, they call upon him in the 9th inning a few days after he pitched, and he comes in and shuts them down, shuts down the teams. I don't see the Mets going anywhere.
Yeah, the list of pitchers I trust more in October over Madison Bumgarner is very short, if there's any names on it at all, to be honest with you. He's one of those guys where he lives for this moment. He comes in, he's got ice in his veins. This is what he goes through the 162 grinds just to get to this point. He loves pitching in the playoffs, and it really shows. This guy is lights out. I mean, he's the engine that drives this Giants team, and he's the reason why I'm going with them over the Mets too.
I like how feisty he is too. Like, you see him, he's getting in scraps left and right. He's taunting people. And then he comes up and hits home runs. that's a great batter and a great pitcher right there.
Baller, man.
Yeah, he's hungry. He wants it. He wants another ring.
So we'll take a look at the divisional round matchups. Talk a little bit about the ones that aren't impacted by the wild card first. So we'll go Red Sox, Indians. What do you guys think in this one?
I like the Red Sox. I mean, you already know about that lineup. You know, insane stack, 1 through 9. Poppies last year, and I really think losing Carlos Carrasco and Danny Salazar for the Indians really hindered their chances. I like their team a lot. Their bullpen is lights out. Adding Andrew Miller, such a big move by them. They had to give up a lot, but I mean, I thought at the time when they still had Carrasco and Salazar, they were, you know, front runner for that AL title.
Oh, definitely.
But those 2 big injuries hurt them, and I think the Red Sox are just too good of a team to let an opportunity like this slip by them.
I think the Red Sox absolutely have an explosive offense, but, you know, where's their pitching? I mean, who do they have? David Price, really? You know, he's not Porcello's good, but David Price, if he's not going to pitch well in the playoffs, you can't make up for that. And like you were saying, the Indians, they have a great bullpen. You know, they do have a great offense. Obviously, they're in the playoffs, but I'm a Yankees fan. I'm not going to go with the Red Sox. I'm going to go with the Indians. You know, I just don't want to see the Red Sox do anything. I'll give credit to Poppy. You know, great career, but I'm glad to see him go.
We hope you're right. I expect nothing less, Esteban. I'm going to be honest with you, but I like the point you made about the Red Sox pitchers. They're not great. I mean, Porcello, 20-game winner. David Price, we don't know what he's going to be in the playoffs, but I can make that same argument of the Indians.
True, very true.
Had Salazar and Carrasco been healthy, I would probably pick the Indians. To go along with Kluber, that's a filthy lineup. That's a filthy rotation right there. But when you have rotations that are pretty similar, I'd honestly give the edge to the Red Sox right now. And then I'd also give the edge for the offense to the Red Sox too. I think they have a better offense. The only really advantage I think the Indians have is that bullpen. But if you don't have the pitching to get you to that bullpen, what does it matter? I mean, you see the Yankees had that problem a lot this year before they traded away those studs.
I mean, really, like in the playoffs, a lot of the teams don't have the pitching. You know, the Mets don't. It's going to be a weird playoffs, a really weird playoffs.
So we go from the AL to the NL. We have the Dodgers and the Nationals. What do you guys think here?
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
That's a good game.
This is going to be a must-watch TV. Honestly, I'm going to give the edge, and I know it's interesting because Dusty Baker, both teams having new managers, both teams notoriously known for choking in October.
Oh, yeah.
I like how they're playing each other. I'm going to give the edge to the Dodgers, honestly. I think the year that Kershaw had, you know, despite his injury, unbelievable year, and the one big difference Corey Seager coming onto the scene this year, obviously they had him last year, but not to this degree, and he wasn't their MVP. Corey Seager is the stud. I think LA and Dave Roberts, bringing that team up, Dave Roberts, an October legend himself, will take LA through Washington.
I agree with you 100%. You know, I think the Dodgers have a team that can fight. You know, Kershaw didn't have that great of a season this year. He's still Kershaw. You know, he's going to get to the postseason. He's gonna pitch the way that Kershaw pitches. But I would like to see the Nationals at least attempt to give them a fight. You know, I think it's going to be a good series. You know, I want to see Harper do what Harper does best and put the ball out of the park and stuff. But you know, I think it's going to be a matchup with the Cubs for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I definitely agree that this is going to be a great series. And honestly, we talked about the Kershaw injury. That's what gives me reason to believe that the Dodgers will win this series because they played well without Kershaw.
They really did.
And that was their crutch for so long. Without Kershaw, that's a completely different team. But they were able to hold up this year. So that gives me reason to believe that they'll be able to take over this series. I think they'll be able to get past the Nationals. I think it's going to be a great series. Honestly, I think it'll go all 5 games. But Kershaw's pitching that Game 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't go against him.
Nope.
Good luck. And I do like the addition of Rich Hill also.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
He's had a great year as well. So then we'll talk about the wild card games that go into the division. So let's say Blue Jays hold off.
Yep.
We'll start off with them. Blue Jays hold off. They advance.
Oof.
They play the Rangers. It's
Must
going
watch
to be a
TV.
slugfest.
That's
in
absolutely,
both
absolutely.
senses of the word right
Yeah.
there. So what do you guys think?
I think the Rangers have the firepower. I mean, the Rangers won their division, aren't playing in this wild card game for a reason. I love their lineup, top to bottom. And, I mean, like we said, Toronto, I think they're too inconsistent. You know, they rely on the home run. Marcus Stroman is the number one. You can't really trust that in the playoffs. I can't see the Blue Jays getting any. If they do get past the Orioles right now, I don't see them getting past another round in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, Stroman's ERA it's almost 5.
Yep.
And you know, with the the Toronto Blue Jays, they do have an explosive offense. You know, but we saw with Bautista already hitting a home run tonight. You know, I think Carlos Beltran. I think the Rangers are gonna have more of an oomph in their fight, and I think they're gonna. I honestly think they'll make it to the World Series.
Yeah, I agree with you guys there. I mean, the Rangers' offense is lights out, and they also have Cole Hamels, Yu Darvish.
Yep.
They have a good bullpen. But one thing I wanted to mention up, Stroman, the first 4 innings, Stroman is pretty lights out. Once that 5th inning comes around, the lineup has seen him a few times. They're able to hit him. His ERA is over 5.
Yep.
So
And they don't have the bullpen to back that up.
exactly.
Either.
I don't think they have a great bullpen either. So if the Blue Jays do win this game, I don't see them getting past the Rangers. Do you guys think the Orioles could get past them if they win it?
I think the Orioles can provide a fighting chance only because they have a lineup that can somewhat match them because, I mean, they're just as unpredictable as any team. But they have the ability to go long, hit home runs. And I think just that thought could get them past, if anything.
I think if the Orioles do, I think it's going to be a Trumbo show. I think he's going to need to step up more than he already has this season. What is he at? 47 home runs?
47.
Yeah. Then again, you can't just rely on that one person. You have Jones, you have Machado. Machado, he's always great. Yep. He's disgusting. I wish we had him on the Yankees, but I don't know though, because they're starting pitching. It's not amazing. It's okay. Tillman's all right. I really think that the Beltran and the Rangers will, if they end up playing them, I think it's still going to be the Rangers.
I agree with you there. So then you take a look at the other side of it. Giants, Mets. Who do you give a better shot against the Cubs?
Ooh. For the series, I mean, looking at what the Mets did last year, but also it was the Daniel Murphy show last year, I honestly think the Giants would give the Cubs a better shot.
Yeah.
Only because history repeats itself, and I'm going to stick with the history book. Chicago hasn't won a World Series in 103 years, 108 years?
108, I think.
Yeah,
and
108.
the Giants, it's an even year, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016. You got Madison Bumgarner team. That's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Definitely the even year. The Mets, they're pitching. That's going to be in question. Can they hold off the Cubs? I don't know. They're 5-2 against them in this season. But I think the Giants, honestly, like you said, every even year, they got good pitching. Bumgarner, he's good. I don't know though. I think it's going to be Cubs. I honestly think Cubs will stake it out. I mean, I really want to see them. I really want to see them make it to the World Series and hopefully I want to see them win it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the Cubs are going to beat whoever comes out of it. I think the Giants will give them a better shot, but
Yeah.
I do see the Cubs advancing, and I agree. I see the Cubs going to the World Series. So, great discussion as always, guys. That'll do it for us here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Sideliners on Wire TV.
Dude,